student organizations who have been working for the cause of marginalized from OU and IFLU. So he is Satish Nayanala from IFLU and Dudu Prabhakaran from KNPS. And yes,
Kranti from Grayson.
Vijay Kumar KNPS.
Raja Narasimha, Pradakaram. Madari DSU, Democratic Students. CSO. Jairav KNPS.
And CLC.
I'm PM Raja, President, Civil Liberties Committee.
and like these are our students.
No, recognize our students.
So actually the Chitara CDS Center for Dalit Studies people will also have accompanied us in the in the inquiry with the ACRHEM coordinators. So just they want to ask you regarding this death of M. Venkatesh.
It's like the most worrying thing is the suicides, either in all central university, either is AFLU or HCU. But there have been a number of committees constituted. Even in your university, during the Sendil thing also there was a committee constituted, and recent Pulyala also there was a committee constituted. But this recent case of Venkatesh committing suicide, it clearly shows the lapses in the administrative procedures in implementing the earlier committee recommendations. Even while we were going through these recommendations by the earlier committees during Sandil Kumar Arvis and Pulyala Raju, they clearly mentioned that the administration needs to be much more sensitive towards the marginalized people. But when we interacted with the people who were there in ACRHEM, we did not feel that they were that sensitive towards that marginalized community in general and in particular to that Venkatesh. So it's like committees are in place, they have given some report, but their implementation is completely lacking. So this is at the cost of the student's life.
Okay, wait a minute. See, a committee such as Senthil Kumar or the committee that was constituted after the death of Pulyala Raju, these committees make recommendations. Sometimes those recommendations are very visible that you can see that something has been implemented. The Senthil Kumar report is now already 5 years old. It came out in 2008. There have been deep-seated changes that have happened at the university as a consequence of that particular committee report. Not saying that everything has been implemented or that everything is wonderful. We know that the situation is not wonderful. Okay? But it is also not true that nothing has been done. Our examination procedure, our interviewing procedure, many changes have come about because of this. This is not a very old university, just as FU is not an old university, and we have to evolve certain procedures. As far as the Pulyala Raju committee report is concerned, as I've told many of the student friends earlier also, there is a procedure in the university. When committee reports make very fundamental suggestions which are of an academic nature, it is important that they be presented to and accepted by the academic community. That is how changes will happen. They were presented at the previous academic council. Tomorrow is the executive council, and it was, in any case, it was going to be a matter that was going to be taken. Now, one of the recommendations of the Andhra Pradesh High Court is that there should be a university-level grievance redressal committee for students on academic matters. That particular committee has already been constituted, and the moment the executive council is over, it will be announced. So all these avenues have been there, they have been put into place, some a little better than others and some a little more visible than others. I was mentioning what we were saying yesterday, Rajshekhar, about how many of the consequences of the Senthil Kumar report have gone into the functioning of the university. Department level grievances.
Still, sir, it's like the same problems have caused the death of Senthil Kumar. if you see it, the death of the later cases, like even Venkatesh or Pulyala Raju, these are the same things. It is not some other avenue of discrimination or something, but certain examinations, non-allotment of the supervisor, which is causing the same reason. It's how as an administration, with the same caste people, Senthil Kumar committed suicide because of non-allotment of a supervisor, and there was a problem with the supervisor. And this guy also, for the 3 years, he did not have a proper supervisor.
It's not true.
Yes. He, as maybe Professor Tiwari, in the position of head or coordinator of that entire center, he was the last chance of guiding him. But he approached earlier some people in the department, some professors in the department, who did not agree to supervise him. And then at the last chance, this was last resort, he went to, obviously he has to go to the head. So he took him. And that was just for the stipulated period of 1 year. Later somebody else, and we heard that you have taken the charge of coordinator or head of that, in charge of that center. And then after that, for 7 months, if a PhD student, that too in his final year, like third year, like 5th semester, if he goes unnoticed for 7 months, like without any doctoral, we were shocked to know that till now he doesn't have a doctoral committee. For this is 3rd year. So how these many things happen? It's like not the new thing. Senthil Kumar with the same reason of non-allotment of the supervisor, and this guy is also non-allotment of the supervisor. How the administration looks at it, and what are the? You are saying that you have taken some measures, but we see that it's a repetition of the same thing. There is nothing from the administration.
Satish, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so look, when something goes bad like this, many things come up. Alright? I can give you excuse after excuse of why it happened in this particular case. You all also know. You went to ACRHEM, you know that it is both inside the university and outside the university. Right? And it is not a full part of the university because the funding comes from somewhere else and it was set up in a different way. The gaps that this incident have shown us are that even though you try to streamline the rest of the university, everything else was fine. Okay, this escaped notice.
But there are many cases, like not only in this case, sir, there are so many cases, guys like Devaya who have attempted suicide, but no action has been done. Like for the past
This one, sir.
anyway, he has been approaching the department. There is a clear case. He attempted suicide and he wanted some kind of justice. No action has been initiated against any of these companies.
No.
The university spaces, which are much more to be accommodative and inclusive, if they behave in this fashion, then what about the outside world, the so-called educated people, if they treat in this manner? And in his case, when we went and asked the department people, they are saying that he was allotted a supervisor who has no relation to his area of research, and that too at a PhD level, as though he is taking some extra class or something like that. He is a student of chemistry, analytical chemistry. He has allotted some supervisor from physics department. And how would you expect the research students to progress in these kinds of atmospheres, which are completely, in fact, to say that they are anti actually. He was not provided a proper supervisor. That was temporary arrangement, that too at a last resort. And then the university people, the center people are saying that we have provided an associate who in no capacity can guide him. He is like his fellow student, just 1 or 2 years more years qualified than him. So they have allotted him as a kind of temporary arrangement, that too in his final years of research. So what is the facilitating role of the university, that we are still shocked at? University has done nothing to facilitate his research. Not only him, particularly the community that he comes from, the marginalized communities, which are completely recurring in every institution, particularly this institution. I think this is the 9th suicide, and these 9 suicides are from the same community. Is it a coincidence or it's a deliberate attempt from the university?
The suicide is from the same community. Isn't there a structural violence behind it? Isn't there a structural lapse?
No, if one thing happens, we can say that it's an unfortunate incident. But if 9 people, The same reasons are repeated. Then
Nine people have not committed suicide, and they are not all from the same community.
Of
Okay.
course,
More or less,
more or
less.
They are.
Okay, wait a minute. See, the thing is, one is to just sweep everything with paint everything with the same brush, and it makes it seem as if there is a institutional hand behind it. Okay, I don't think that is fair.
The argument which you are making is simply escaping from the statement. We are not brushing everything same, because you are trying to project that it is not a institutional problem. It is like a individual problem. Like you projected in the case of Senthil Kumar and Balraju, and even Pulyal Raju case also. What you people have made the statement.
I was not even here for the case
Yes,
of Senthil Kumar.
let me complete.
Because
Let me complete first
every
thing.
case has the same nature.
Murli, 1 minute. Let me complete. In case of Pulyal Raju also, what you people have made a statement in this same room. When committee submitted the report, Krishna committee submitted the report. Yourself, you said committee did not mention about his Facebook. Why the committee ignored the Facebook? Because he committed suicide not because of the academic problem, because of this personal problem. Like you want to project him as a love affair, because of love affair. In case of Balraju also, administration projected him because of his poverty or something, poverty or backwardness. That's why he committed suicide. Is that fact? No, not you. See, even though you are new for this university, but several times you
are talking.
Let me complete. Even though you are recently you came from the university, but several times we told you that in our university there are 148 faculty, among them 148 professors, among them 120 are Brahmins. Several times we told you. So you can analyze how can a Brahmin faculty discriminate the students. We know the facts of the Pulyal Raju and also Senthil Kumar, everything we know. But even though we know that there is a discrimination at different levels, directly or formally or informally. In Telugu department, they directly told that you are from so and so community, no need to do research, you go and do your caste occupation. The same thing happened in the Senthil Kumar issue. But it is an informal discrimination. They deliberately, they never allotted any supervisor to this Venkatesh that caused for his death. It is administration problem. Don't try to escape from each. Don't compare with the other personalities like other suicides, like that MA communication student and this Venkatesh. Don't compare this both suicide, and don't tell to people who came from outside that by don't brush from do the paint from only one brush. It's not like that.
Okay.
One more thing, sir. Sorry, actually, I don't like to discuss all these things, but I would like to tell one thing to you. In the case of Balraj, what happened, you know. And I think he was not there at that time. But Deva is there in front of us. You people are discussing about the individual problems and institutional problems. I don't know how you are defining that. But one thing is there. Telugu department people didn't give the seat to Devaya. They are telling in front of us. They are telling. He is participating in Telangana movement. He is singing songs for Telangana. Because of that reason, we don't give seat to him. We didn't give seat to him. Is it a reason? Is it a measurement to the admission in the department? Clearly, they are telling. When they are telling these kind of things, we fought against with them. That time, these people came here at you. What they discussed with you? See, you are telling about some individual problems. Okay. Myself, I too agree with you. In the case of Devaya, is it institutional problem or individual problem? Before he is trying to commit suicide, I met you so many times. I brought up him to you. We discussed it with you so many times. What is going in the department? How they people humiliating the students? How they are discriminating the students with the caste? We notice it to you. What kind of action you have taken? Themselves they are telling that. One of our faculty members is telling that Anjaya is a criminal. Can they give the seats for the criminals in our department? How Anjaya may become a criminal? Clearly they are telling that. When I go to
them to discuss about the seats. So they simply close the door. We are sitting inside. One fellow is telling that he's a criminal. Why you are fighting for him? I don't know. Whoever participating in the movements, are they becoming criminals? Are they becoming the terrorists? How you people defining that? We see that is objectional thing. What you are telling, there are some people having the individual problems. Myself, I believe that there is no individual problem for the suicides in all over the world. Suicide is not a suicide. Suicide is a murder. It is institutional. It is systematic. System will kill the individuals. I don't think like so. You are telling about individual problems. But in this university case, Deva is there. If you want, just you ask him, what is the reason behind that? Please ask him. Till now, you didn't take any action on the department people.
What do you have?
When people coming to you, that time you are telling, okay, one thing sir, you already opened supervisory powers for our department, you already gave 7 seats. We are not discussing about the seats, but how they are behaving. What kind of measurements they are taking to give the seats to the students. Is it right? So what is the need of conducting the examinations? What is the need of conducting the interviews? No need.
So these are
In their scales,
Yes, yes, yes.
let me complete, sir. Let me complete, please. In their scales, they want to be born in a upper caste. They want to born in a ruler's region. They want to join with them. Otherwise, they will become criminals, terrorists, and all. So I never heard that this kind of measurements to need the admissions. I don't know that. The way is there in front of you. If I am wrong, you ask him directly. Till now, you are telling about the individual problems. No? Till now, they humiliated him. They disputed him because of caste. Because of caste, actually so many people fought for that. You know very well about our department. Our dean also very well know about our department. One of our faculty members came forward to take him. He have Ajina fellowship, but they are telling that you are participating in Telangana movement. Ask him what till now have you taken any action on the department people? No. That's what I am trying to say to you. It is not individual. These are all things happening because of system. You are not at the time of Balraj issue also. We went to Ibrahim at the mortuary. His mother is crying. We don't need any other kind of witnesses. We don't need any other kind of witnesses. His mother is crying. She is telling that because of one professor. She is not mentioning the name. Because of one professor. Why you commit suicide? It is not. You can do agriculture here, no? Why you went to university? Because of one teacher. Why you committed suicide? His mother is crying there. But nobody has taken any action. What is happening there? I am not blaming you in the case of Balraju, but in the case of Devaya, what you have taken? What kind of actions you have taken?
It's not that, sir, we are talking about the past incidents, but we are also talking about the present things that are going on. Still live cases here, Devaya, and the recent example of Venkatesh. It's like you have clear-cut proofs that the department, the center did not allot him a supervisor, a proper supervisor who can guide him in his research for the 3 years. Even if they have accommodated one supervisor, they have accommodated. It's not a full-fledged supervisor, we think. Even any research scholar, I think they feel the same thing. Because he is from some other department and the supervisor is from some other department. What are the administrative actions that you are taking against those departments, which are actually spoiling the careers of the students, particularly who are first generation learners, who are coming with lots of hopes that these things won't happen in the universities.
See, on Sunday when I discussed with all the students, I said that I'll wait for Professor Krishna to give me a recommendation today. And if they give me some clear-cut recommendations, I will implement them.
But the thing, sir, we have already 2 committees recommendations here which are being completely void, like they are not being implemented.
Excuse me.
That's why these things are coming again and again.
Look here, our university has a certain procedure. Now, one just please listen instead of just accusing. Both the Senthil Kumar and the Pulyala Raju committee reports are now on our university website. Every faculty member, every dean, every head of department has been talked about this particular reports, because most of the recommendations that are there in Pulyala Raju have to do with the individual working of each person. It says, you know, if you look through the recommendations, then Prashant has got copies of it.
But the faculty,
Can I finish? Can I finish? Right? It requires individual to also take heed of it, because there are only so many orders that people can be given. Tomorrow at the Executive Council, both these reports will be, the Senthil Kumar report has already been placed in the Executive Council. I will place it again. And I want to see what has not been implemented in Senthil Kumar. That's after all a 5-year-old committee report. And as far as the Pulyala Raju committee report, and if I am able to get Professor Krishna to give me some recommendations about yesterday, I will try to put these into the rules of the university, what's called the ordinances. Okay? What I can put into the ordinances about allotment of guides, about seeing how, you know, how a certain amount of administration has got to go, I can do. Changing attitudes is written over there. People have to read it. People have to read it, introspect. We have as many discussions on it. We have ways of talking. I have talked to faculty. I have talked to the departmental heads. These are the ways in which that we know. Okay, and there is no dearth of effort on our part to keep doing this.
Sir,
there are some problematic.
Considering the dearth of effort that you have put, the point you just made that you have sent the circular to every department, to every center, ACRHEM, the
Director
you were the director of the ACRHEM center, that faculty of ACRHEM does not agree with you on this point. Because they told us, because we went just a while ago, that we did not get any notification, any committee report. How will we read it? We are disconnected from the university administration.
Arpita, you see, if people don't read something that comes to them, it's difficult to say. The Pulyala Raju report was part of the agenda of the academic council.
Sir, this is how the ACRHEM institution is going on.
This is how. It is very much clear that those people have not read the report.
Yeah.
What action you are
now you are saying that?
Sir, I have another thing to say. I think the way
Please
this
don't
Please
point,
reply. What
don't-
action?
don't
No,
point
what action? It
fingers.
is because of that thing only this incident has happened.
So I think,
So-
sir, the thing which you are saying, when we go to ACRHEM, they say that administration didn't give us. When we come to administration says that we have sent it. Same thing happened with Venkatesh. Same thing happened with Venkatesh.
Sir,
You said something.
you said if the individual teachers are not reading, then we cannot force them to.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm trying to say is that individual attitudes have to change, right?
No, if they are working in the institution,
Yeah.
there are 2 things, sir. One thing is about that thing which the university faculty, they themselves clearly, they say that they haven't seen any of these reports. They said it that they might have gone to dean's office, and we have a record of it. They said it clearly to everybody. It's not that I or Arpita or somebody alone talked to. And the second thing is we are talking about welfare measures that can see to it that these incidents of this sort will not recur in the future. But what about the justice in the case of Venkatesh? Which clearly shows that the administration did not do or did not put in a single effort to solve any of his academic problems, not personal problems.
And they point out you, especially.
They point out you.
Vice-Chancellor, they said.
Saying
we are
that
not responsible.
for the first 1 year, maybe Professor Tiwari was here, and later on, Professor Vice-Chancellor has taken over the charge, and we don't know. I have just come for 3 or 4 months. That's what the present director of it is saying. So, what are the justice, the measures of justice that you have taken to fulfill all these lapses, illegalities, and we say caste discrimination that is prevailing in the university. Don't talk about welfare measures, sir, because we are fed up with these things. Like everywhere we go, you might do these things. Even the court has said it. And none of the welfare measures have been implemented. Here it is clear. You are saying that we have circulated it, but they are saying that we did not get it. Even if the next time welfare measures, even if you get it approved in the academic council, we are not sure that the individual attitudes may not be changed. But at an administrative level, at an institutional level, when these people are making these problems, they are not following these rules, they are making all these illegalities, what is the administrative action that you are going to take against these people? Would you accept that a research scholar in his third year has to look for a supervisor, that too concerning his area? Would you accept that a research scholar in third year has no doctoral committee at all till now? Does this show the excellency of the university?
No.
Then what is the case of justice in the case of Venkatesh, sir? Justice is not done, justice is denied in his case. You say that these are all the procedural lapses and these are all the illegalities, and you are not taking any action on the people who are responsible.
It's very surprising, sir. How can a reputed university like SU has not recruited a chemistry faculty, sir? For almost 3 years.
And even for that, they blamed you. They said that you called for notification.
Yesterday.
And no, they said this. You'll see it on YouTube actually.
Can I? They were just saying,
Look, ultimately the responsibility for everything is mine, right?
So can I speak?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Can I have an option?
No? Yeah, of course.
So, thank you, sir. The thing is, the fact with which you have started in the beginning gets nullified if we carefully look at the recommendations which have been given by Senthil Kumar, sir. The university hasn't adopted any of those recommendations.
Like?
Hasn't. First, sir, 5.5 clause of recommendation. It asks the university to allot the supervisor immediately after the admission. Clause 5.7. There is a dire need for activating the doctoral committee in all schools. These committees should comprise not only the supervisor but also other faculties in the department. In the case of Venkatesh, there was no supervisor. Sir, there was no supervisor, sir. Let me bring out the facts.
No,
let me.
He wasn't the supervisor.
Please,
accommodated as a supervisor.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We would like to bring out certain facts. Before Tiwari came into picture, Mr. Tiwari came into picture, he had to go to meet each and every faculty, wherein each and every faculty had rejected his case. Then Professor Tiwari is the director of the school, hence he has taken him as guide, who is an associate faculty of Center for ACRHEM. Now later on, when Professor Tiwari has moved to School of Physics, he could not guide him. He could not guide him, and he was he was not even guiding him at all, because another one, Ravi, was actually helping him out. And when Professor Tiwari moved out, you came as the director.
Signed the papers.
ACRHEM. And then also he didn't get that guide allotment. And then in July he has submitted a representation. It is not the fact that he hasn't submitted a representation. In July he has submitted a representation that I don't have a supervisor. My doctoral committee consists of only one faculty, that is my supervisor, that is my ex-supervisor. Hence grant me an extension into the next semester. In the case of Madari Venkatesh, his faculty was the supervisor of him. His faculty was signing his doctoral committee reports. Then where was his work going on? Who's evaluating his work? Who's analyzing what he is doing? And also, who's assisting him in doing all these works? Sir, where have you implemented? With full heart, I wanted to ask you one question, sir. Where were the recommendations implemented? Were the recommendations implemented? Can we say the recommendations have been implemented with this case?
No, not with this case, because in the whole university, if you look at doctoral committees are activated after this. After this recommendation.
There are so many cases like this. There are so many cases.
No,
There are so many cases like this.
We are supposed to give the list, no? That is what other day we were thinking. The list is to CE and DSW. See, the whole doctoral committee issues activated after this Senthil Kumar committee.
Yes.
Doctoral committee meetings are held semester, every semester end. That is what we know.
This is the letter written by Madari Venkatesh.
Yeah, we
I
have
read
seen
this.
yesterday.
My fine. I am Venkatesh was based in rule number. This one, let me please read it out, sir. I was allotted to Professor S.P. Tiwari as a supervisor for my PhD course, and he was the only member of DRC, doctoral committee. As now Professor Tiwari was retired and no other supervisor allotted to me still now. This was written on 18th July. Still now that month word also he has mentioned. In view of above, it is to submit to consider my extension of semester registration for current semester. Sir, he has already brought in this issue of non-allotment of supervisor, and every one of his friends and his roommate was telling that he was telling them that he was not having proper guide, he was not having proper pie. The central issue is of guide allotment. Why doesn't university accept that it has failed in the case of Madari Venkatesh? Why is it not accepting? Why is it still defending that there are still certain more excuses to defend the death of Madari Venkatesh? That's one answer we wanted to clearly get from the institutional head, as you said.
Prashant, even that day I said that look, there is a system failure over here. Okay? The facts are pretty clear.
But who are the victims of that failure of system?
Karthik, 1 second.
We will take responsibility. We will take responsibility. What kind of responsibility they will take? Simply uttering a system fail is not a solution for the problem.
Please be polite.
Yeah, it is polite, man. It is polite, sir.
No, sir. What is your response? Because, sir, one question is, you have served as the director of the center for about 1.5 years.
Well, I don't know, whatever the time of period was.
Sir, in that time also, it has been very clearly written. No one of the students has been, at least as in the position of director, you should have interacted with the students.
Prashant, look, I was in that particular center, as you know, there aren't that many faculty members. Venu is an associate professor, and he was carrying out the basic functions. I was just countersigning. Okay, no, this is technically the fact. But this is Madari Venkatesh is a student of our university, and finally the responsibility rests with me. Okay, I am the chairman of the academic council. I am the chairman of all the school boards, all those. Therefore, the ultimate responsibility is ours. And yes, the university failed in not providing him a suitable supervisor.
That doesn't
what?
That doesn't maybe fulfill the reason for his death. That doesn't may deliver the justice for Venkatesh's death. What are the measures of justice that you have taken? If you accept that this is institutional failure, where the failure lies? Who are the people who were involved in this institutional failure? What are the measures that you have taken so that none of these activities of this sort? If you say that this is an institutional failure, and we are saying that this is not the only case, there are many more cases to come which are institutional failures which are based on clearly caste-based discrimination that we have clearly said. But what are the measures?
Yesterday, one moment. Yesterday I called all the deans, and because since Sunday, Prashant and everyone has been saying that there are many cases of this of students without supervisors. All the deans were called here yesterday, and I have asked them to go and verify individually whether there is anybody without a supervisor. Okay? All of them orally at least have told me that there is no student without a supervisor in their departments. But I have asked them to come back with evidence.
Sir, this is not only about allotting supervisor.
One second.
In such context, I will produce an evidence of it, which is available with Professor V. Haribabu sir. The letter which has been submitted by one student on non-allotment of supervisor. It is Koya Appal Raju, the letter which we have submitted to you. We have also submitted a letter to the chairman grievance committee of CEST. Sir, in that case, for 1.5 years, the student didn't get any guide allotment. Sir, beyond 3 months, how could it be prolonged that a student does not have a guide?
Look, these are the aberrations that have come, and you are asking whether we are trying.
Now, when the aberrations comes, you term it as an excuse. they only are going to lead out to suicide, sir. Now, those aberrations are going to lead for suicide, sir.
Years, sir. It's like
sir, I will tell you,
half of the PhD.
No, sir, I will tell you one instance in CEST, another instance. One student who have had 71% in his MSc Physics, in MTech 74%. He was a 24th All India GATE rank holder. When he approached the dean for allotment of faculty supervisor, dean tells him that you go and meet faculties. He goes and meets faculties. Poor fellow, he doesn't know the procedures because none of the procedures were circulated. He goes and approaches the faculty. Faculty rejects him, and the next day they say that they don't have they have already done with their limit, so they cannot take any student. But the next day they take another FOCA student as their student. And then he went back to dean. It happened for 4 times. He was shuttled from dean to faculty, faculty to dean, dean to faculty, faculty to dean. Just 2 months back, he got the guide allotment. That's after 1.5 years completely. And he got his admission in 2011. It's more than that, sir. And the students, when they were submitting seminars, they were being stopped deliberately. They were being posed questions. They were being humiliated and taunted at their language. Isn't this discrimination in the institution, sir? If you want me to bring them to your note, I will bring them. What kind of action? You please justify what kind of action you are going to take. If I produce these evidences, what kind of action you will be taking, sir? We know now no action will come out. We know that fact. That's very clear.
Why is it that, sir, university, you yourself are admitting that there is a university failure? But who are all responsible for that failure? Why don't you take any action against?
Look here, Satish, today's Professor Krishna is going around. He is coming back to me and giving me a report. Tomorrow I have the EC meeting. I will take action after that.
So, sir, can you give assurance what kind of action you are going to take on?
Let me look at what Krishna says.
No, because earlier in Krishna company also they clearly said.
This letter in itself is enough to take an action, sir. No, sir. Please, sir, you must admit it, sir, because otherwise, sir, it relates to the sentiment of the students. Sir, how many times one student has to shuttle around from one place to another, sir? Didn't he approach the faculty from chemistry, sir? Isn't it a fact? Why he was denied a faculty supervisor? Why did you notify in the prospectus the associate faculty clause in that? There were, for ACRHEM, it was noted, faculty, then associated faculty from School of Physics and Chemistry were noted. As a student, if I am entering into the university, when I look at that prospectus, I understand that there is someone to supervise me. But for 3 years, if the student doesn't have a supervisor, he was repeatedly telling this point to his friends. If I would have had perfect supervisor, I would have finished my thesis. A regular student, we lost a regular student, sir. One who was committed to his academics.
No, he was very committed.
Sir, and that too,
like, he was.
Sir, and
yes.
And that too when Tiwari was about to retire, according to university ordinances.
I agree, Manikantha. Now, see, these are all mistakes that have happened. I mean, I will, as I said, I'm waiting for this report tomorrow at the Executive Council, and I have talked to you all at length on Sunday.
But on
I have told you. Beg your pardon?
On whom the action will be initiated?
Let me see what the Krishna Committee report says. I also need the wisdom of the Executive Council. Okay.
But isn't it our moral responsibility that, when we accept all these facts that there are these many problems with the institution and it is directly responsible for the suicide of the student, isn't it not a moral responsibility at least to resign the responsible people? Let's say the director of that particular center, or maybe you, sir. When one accepts that this is our failure and we are directly responsible for the killing of this particular student, we have committed a murder. I call it that. And is it not our moral responsibility that I have taken the life of somebody and I am enjoying the positions and privileges that are supposed to take care of all welfare measures of all these students? You are saying that we have implemented, but there is clear case of violations. You accept that and you don't initiate any action. Neither you ask the center director to step down, nor you take any moral responsibility of giving any explanations that these are the measures we are taking. And every time this committee recommendations, even maybe Senthil Kumar, he has read out, And
university
even
level grievance redressal committee, which will be empowered to take whatever steps are required. Okay? So any kind of, you talked about Devaya, you talked about other people, all those, if they did not have a departmental level, they will have a proper university level committee to see it. That committee will have all the required powers and authorities to do that.
So it is hard for
Okay,
us.
sir. I mean, okay, it's structurally apparently very good. But the question is that you yourself confess that it has been a very mistake of the administration, on the side of administration, and the victim was someone's student. But the question lies, I want to stress this question, what is to be done now? What is to be done? Because this is not something, one case we are implicating. This is something annotations showing the whole, whole nature of the university itself. You can set up large committees and you can structurally...
I'm not fond of large committees.
What I'm trying to say is that, but still on the ground level, grassroots level, there was a teacher-student conflict going on. And there was a discrimination on that basis going on. Teacher and student level conflicts. And I want to say particularly about the integrated masters. I've been from integrated masters. It has been most ignored department in whole university. Most ignored department in whole university. And I'm predicting now there are some people who are going to suicide in some days. I'm predicting now. Because the tendency, the trauma they have been facing with, I can predict there are some people now going to suicide in the integrated also. Because the utter dysfunctioning in the CIS integrated. See, I only want to talk this case as comparatively because this has been showing the whole nature of the university, sir. So what is to be done is actually a question. We are demanding that be free for take action of it because we've been demanding on that day also regarding the Pulyala Raju. You never took an action against them.
Action against whom?
Culprits.
Administrative people who are deliberately.
Since you accepting the failure in the university, what we strongly feel is, you must resign, sir.
Yes, sir.
You must resign.
And in your period, there are 3 suicide attempts and 3 people died in your period. And we think seriously that I think administration and the VC and the all department has lost its credibility. Because ultimately we are the victims tomorrow. And everyone here lost credibility. They have no credibility. And we seriously admit that please do us favor.
It's hard.
Because we are just fed up with these things, sir. Since we've been fighting, you were seeing us people. We were fighting on the streets and places.
What kind of action you have taken in the case of the Telugu department? Just you ask to whom we have to take action. You have asked, in the case of Telugu department, what you have done? One more thing also is there. I would like to tell you, sir. Actually, we brought up to you so many times. People can simply escape. We didn't give the poison bottle to him. We didn't give any threat to him. We didn't arrange a table to him. We didn't arrange a fan to him. Themselves they committed suicide. No. Yes. Are you conducted any sensitization camp in our university? I have been staying in this campus for 6 years. This is the 6th year for me. Are you conducted any sensitization camp here? I don't want to praise one organization here, but one organization, I think 2 years back, conducted a seminar on the suicides. From the administration, anybody came forward to conduct a sensitization camp here? Nobody.
So there was also
that is why I am telling you that. Have you taken, Satish. Have you launched any committee in the case of Devaya? You just let him tell the answer. Have you launched any committee for the case of Devaya? What kind of action you have taken? Please tell the answer. No. After you telling the answer, we'll talk. You tell the 2 answers.
Devaya's.
In the case of Devaya.
see, these are all other. Please, you don't have the right to sit here and demand answers from me for certain things.
You don't have a right to also take the decision on the without a concern of the
Hold on.
Sir, that is little. No, sir. That one is. That comment was little much. That's not demand. That's a that guy. I also know this issue of for so many years. That is.
Sir,
just
you should be answerable to us. Why? Because you are our VC.
I know I am your VC.
Yeah.
Okay, and
yeah.
therefore,
In that
one
case, you have to
second.
answerable to us.
I am also answerable to the whole university. Okay. All I
University
say.
means not police and bands, sir. Students and faculty.
Will you kindly stop? Listen. If you want a response from me, please let me speak also. When I said that you cannot demand answers like this, it is that you suddenly come with a case, Devaya.
Suddenly.
In that case,
Yes, Arpita, it is suddenly.
He has been telling you that he has come to you several times, sir.
Please, you don't know the circumstances and for how long.
Of course, I don't know the circumstances.
Don't get judgmental.
Please listen to what he is saying.
There is no need of demanding you to resign. You review yourself. You have not recruited a chemistry faculty for the last 3 years.
3 years.
You have not taken any action in the petitions of some students.
Devaya.
You have not taken any action to review the committee's report in the past. So, as a civil liberties organization, we are outsiders. Maybe some other incidents are also there which have not come to our notice. But when we see the figures, there are 11 suicidal deaths in the university, among which at least 7 members from SC/ST community. So what we strongly feel is, since your circulars are not being read by your own faculty members, so don't you feel that it is your responsibility to simply quit honorably or prestigiously? See, what that committee will, tomorrow what you people will decide, that is nothing to do with us. So they obviously back you, you back them, and this goes on continuing for some more years and some more students will suicide. So, feeling responsibility, feel it as a responsibility and take decision on your own.
Sir, adding to that, being in charge director of the ACRHEM more than 6 months, you utterly failed to address the problem of Venkatesh. So it is the responsibility of you to resign.
So the thereby what happens to that issue? That has been that issue. Just explain.
Sir, the point which you have made of non-approachment, that's where we are facing a lot of problems. Sir. Like, see, when as a head of the institution, sir, there are severe difficulties. Like as a head of the department, if you don't know that one student didn't get any allotment, then what kind of transparent procedures do we have? What kind of transparent procedures do we have? For a whole lot of 3 years, he doesn't have an official guide. Sir, the letter itself is indicating, sir. Then how we are expecting, sir, when this issue was represented through letter form, then what was the action taken?
That's why I think acting
Sir,
director. One moment. If you see the rest of the letter, the acting director says that we will be. Read the rest of the letter. No,
I have read, sir. I have read that letter, sir.
So the acting director said that we will be doing this, allotting the guide as soon as the director comes.
Sir, but you are the in-charge director,
I was
sir.
not the in-charge director, man.
Sir, just now you agreed that you were the in-charge director.
I was signing the papers.
It was given in July. It was given in July. This guy committed suicide almost in December. But even the center administration did not stand by its word. So, no action. Even for that also you have to wait for the committee's report.
You are an authority, sir, to sign
Sir,
on
this
it.
is
For you to sign on a paper, you will have to be in an authoritative position, and that is the director position.
No,
You cannot deny the
I signed
responsibility.
it, hold on, I signed as VC.
As VC, so you're not the director.
That particular piece of paper was signed by me as VC saying give him semester registration.
Yes. Why do the ACRHEM members don't consider the same? They don't agree with you on this point.
On what?
That you're not the director.
I was the director in charge or whatever it is.
Exactly, sir. That's the point that we are making.
Then you didn't pay much attention.
So that's what directly the same to that in-charge mentioned.
He has explicitly mentioned that he doesn't have DRC member. The DRC member was only one, and he also retired. I don't have a guide. Now that one reason has caused for a suicide of a student on campus. Then who should be held as responsible for this, sir? For this institutional lapse? Whom should be held? Whom should we hold as responsible?
Will you, give me until tomorrow? No, please give me until tomorrow.
This is an institutional matter. We cannot decide right here. No?
Also, there was a popular notion going on in this.
He is a VC and he was also in charge of that center. Why can't he answer his own problem?
No, the point is, it will be placed before EC. EC is the one which will direct the Vice-Chancellor to do certain things. Right? So you should give some time. It's not a simply a household matter.
Yes, sir, we agree with
right?
you. But
It's not a household matter, right? There are systems, there are committees.
Yes.
Oh, sir, no, enough is enough, sir.
Where are the fingers to be pointed? Obviously, you can see. Prashant showed you. He had one supervisor who was allotted because of whatever reason. Right? There was only one member on the doctoral committee. What do you expect me to say, that everything was all right? Obviously, everything was not all right.
So then why don't you initiate some action when
That's what not all right. That's what the Executive Council will
Sir, but,
decide.
yeah. Acha, okay.
Yeah, the thing is an institution. It's not his household.
And you could not solve the issue.
It's not illegal. It's not illegal.
You said like you have
Executive Council meeting తర్వాత
ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కమిటీ ఏం చేస్తారు సార్? మీకు అగెనెస్ట్ గా పోతుందా ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కమిటీ? మీరు వాళ్ళకి అగెనెస్ట్ గా
చెప్పినా టోటల్ గా ఇప్పటి వరకు జరిగిన దాంట్లో మోరల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ మీదే కదా. మోరల్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు మీదే ప్రధాన కారణం. మీరు గనక కరెక్ట్ గా వ్యవహరించినట్టయితే ఖచ్చితంగా అతను మీకు అతను కాబట్టి ఖచ్చితంగా మీరు రిజైన్ చేయాల్సిందే. ఇది ఇంకో ఆప్షన్ లేదు.
Responsibility taken by you only. If this happened to your son or someone else near to you, you appoint the same.
Please don't say something like that.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Because as the head of this institution, it is not a question of my son or my daughter.
Going on
all
appointing
of
the
them
committee
are
dragging the things and looking for the one more suicide.
Sir, the poor parents from remote places sending their sons to get education. What is happening?
వెంకటేష్ ఆత్మహత్యకు సంబంధించి ప్రజా సంఘాలుగా ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఫైండింగ్కి వచ్చాం. ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఫైండింగ్కి వచ్చిన కుల నిర్మూలన పోరాట సమితి, పౌర హక్కుల సంఘం, ప్రజా కళా మండలి, డిఎస్యు, విప్లవ విరసం, ఇంకా టిఎస్యు, పీడిఎస్యు వీళ్ళు వచ్చారు. అయితే మేము వచ్చిన వెంటనే డైరెక్టర్ని కలిసాం. కొంతమంది ఆ ల్యాబ్కి సంబంధించిన ఆఫీసర్ని కలిసాం, స్టూడెంట్స్ని కలిసాం, వీసీని కూడా కలిసాం. డైరెక్టర్ వీసీ ఇద్దరు కూడా వెంకటేష్ సూసైడ్కి సంబంధించి అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్లో అమ్మని ఒప్పుకున్నాం. మేమేం డిమాండ్ చేశామంటే, ఈ వెంకటేష్ సూసైడ్ కాదు, ఇప్పటిదాకా జరిగిన సూసైడ్స్ మొత్తం యూనివర్సిటీలో 9 ఆత్మహత్యా ప్రయత్నం జరిగినాయి. ఈ ఆత్మహత్యలకు సంబంధించిన కారణం మొత్తం మీ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషనే. ఈ యూనివర్సిటీ అగ్రహారాలుగా వర్ధిల్లుతా ఉన్నది. ఇక్కడ అనేక మందులు మనువులు విలయతాండం చేస్తూ ఉన్నారు. దీనికి బాధ్యత వహించి మీరు డైరెక్టర్ రాజీనామా చేయాలి, నైతిక బాధ్యత వహించి వీసీ డైరెక్టర్ రాజీనామా చేయాలని చెప్పి మేము వీసీ దగ్గర డిమాండ్ చేశాం. ఆయన ఒప్పుకోలేదు. అయితే మేము వెంకటేష్ చేసుకున్నది ఆత్మహత్య కాదు, అది అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ చేసిన హత్య. దానికి బాధ్యత డైరెక్టర్ని, వీసీ మీద డైరెక్టర్ మీద ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ అత్యాచారం చట్టం ప్రకారం వెంటనే వాళ్ళని అరెస్ట్ చేయాలని మేము డిమాండ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ప్రభుత్వం దీనికి ఒప్పుకోకపోతే మేము ప్రైవేట్ కంప్లైంట్ వేసైనా కానీ హైకోర్టులో వీళ్ళిద్దరిని కోర్టులో అవుతాం. ఏ లీగల్గా ఏ అవకాశాలు అయితే ఉన్నాయో అన్ని వాళ్ళు ఒప్పుకున్నాయా, మా అంత రికార్డ్ అయ్యి ఉన్నది, రికార్డెడ్గా కూడా ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు దాకా వాళ్ళు 2 కమిషన్లు వేశారు, అనేక కమిషన్లు వేస్తూ ఉన్నారు. మనిషి చచ్చినప్పుడు కమిషన్లు వేస్తారు, ఆ కమిషన్ ఒక రిపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చింది, ఆ రిపోర్ట్ అమలు చేయరు. ఇప్పుడు కూడా కమిషన్ వేశారు కాలయాపన కోసం, విద్యార్థుల్ని మభ్యపెట్టి ఇక్కడ అగ్రహారాలుగా వర్ధిల్లుతున్న ఈ యూనివర్సిటీలో బ్రాహ్మణ అగ్రహారం వర్తిల్తున్న యూనివర్సిటీలో ఈ మనువులందరికీ శిక్ష పడే విధంగా ఎస్సీ ఎస్టీ అత్యాచార చట్టం ప్రకారం వెంకటేష్ హత్యకి సంబంధించి వీళ్ళని బీసీని డైరెక్టర్ని బాధ్యత చేస్తూ కుల నిర్మూలన పోరాట సమితి హైకోర్టులో కూడా ప్రైవేట్ కంప్లైంట్ మూవ్ చేస్తుంది. దీని మీద మేము ఉద్యమం చేయడానికి సిద్ధంగా ఉన్నాం. దుడ్డు ప్రభాకర్, కుల నిర్మూలన పోరాట సమితి రాష్ట్ర అధ్యక్షుడు.
రవిభాయ్ ఈ వీడియో తీసుకుపోయి
ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కమిటీ ఏం చేసినా కానీ మనం మాత్రం ఖచ్చితంగా అంతే. కమిటీ ఏం చెప్పినా మనకు అవసరం లేదు. రేపు గట్ట ఆ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కమిటీ మీటింగ్ తర్వాత రిజైన్ చేయకపోతే లేకపోతే ఇంకొన్ని మనం పంపించడానికి వెయిటింగ్.
Okay.
Step down, VC, step down, VC, step down, register, step down, register, down, stop the. Johar Madari Venkatesh, Johar, Johar. Siggu, siggu, champina mana oppukuntunna committee la report la kosam kalayapana cheyadam. Siggu, 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 siggu. Siggu, siggu, Vice Chancellor Art Center ki director ga undi vidyarthuలకు న్యాయం చేయకపోవడం. Siggu, 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 siggu. Siggu, siggu, యూనివర్సిటీలో దళిత విద్యార్థులు చేయకుండా పోవడం. Siggu, 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 siggu. చావులా చదువులా. చావులా చదువులా. రిజైన్ చేయాలి VC వెంటనే. రిజైన్ చేయాలి, రిజైన్ చేయాలి. రిజైన్ చేయాలి VC వెంటనే. రిజైన్ చేయాలి, రిజైన్ చేయాలి. రిజైన్ చేయాలి వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు కారణమైనటువంటి VC వెంటనే. రిజైన్ చేయాలి, రిజైన్ చేయాలి. రిజైన్ చేయాలి వెంకటేష్ హత్యకు కారణమైనటువంటి VC వెంటనే. రిజైన్ చేయాలి, వెంటనే. రాజీనామా చేయాలి, రాజీనామా చేయాలి. రాజీనామా చేయాలి చావు కారణమని ఒప్పుకున్న VC డైరెక్టర్లు వెంటనే. రాజీనామా చేయాలి, రాజీనామా చేయాలి. నమోదు చేయాలి హత్యానేరం కేసు VC పై వెంటనే. నమోదు చేయాలి, నమోదు చేయాలి. నమోదు చేయాలి SC ST అట్రాసిటీ కేసు VC పైన వెంటనే. నమోదు చేయాలి, నమోదు చేయాలి. నమోదు చేయాలి హత్యానేరం కేసు VC పై వెంటనే. నమోదు చేయాలి, నమోదు చేయాలి. నమోదు చేయాలి అట్రాసిటీ కేసు VC పై వెంటనే. నమోదు చేయాలి, నమోదు చేయాలి.